Welcome to DR TSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shivaprasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello. A controversy which is going around the country, and that too during elections to Lok Sabha in some states like Andhra Pradesh too, simultaneously for assembly too. Very shocking, and I have a serious view about this because entire country runs on free and fair elections. That means these elections should allow all those eligible voters who attain that age of 18 to participate in the elections called by Election Commission of India, so that they can exercise their right to franchise in electing their choice of candidates or representatives of a political party or independents. And before that, every voter citizen of India has a right to contest the elections. So these are the fundamental aspects, and this has to be borne in very clearly in mind. And now when I'm doing this show, unfortunately, I'm still in Kerala, in Kottayam district Pala. This bad habit of Kerala Pinarayi government and all the opposition party too, UDF, headed by Congress, they don't have any control over Kerala State Electricity Board. Now you have seen, now the power has come back. Severe fluctuations. So this is why we say electing a governance which is for the welfare of the people is very, very fundamental. And that is the reason why we say these elections should be free and fair, so that these amenities, the welfare activity or development of the country, of the citizens, and we are the constitution. The constitution means every citizen of this country. They are the constitution, because we have submitted constitution to ourselves. That is why we say Republic of India. It is not a banana republic. So right from Prime Minister to Chief Minister or Cabinet Secretary to Chief Secretary, including Election Commission of India, they are subservient to Indian democracy. So in democracy, elections are held by Election Commission of India at the center, and chief electoral officers at every given state, they are responsible directly, and they are all answerable to every citizen of India, because we have submitted constitution to ourselves. So in that case, as it has happened, we have seen during the electoral bonds case, the funding of the political parties, when the affidavit of the central government during the trial in Supreme Court states we will have no right to provide any information to the citizens. How shameful it is, and Supreme Court came heavily on that. It's clearly stated it is unconstitutional and made electoral bonds public, so that we are able to understand who is funding and whom, whether it is corporate money, illegal money, arms money, drugs money, routed through political parties, so that they can elect their own representatives, so that they can continue with these illegal, corrupt activities, so that it destroys the spirit of free and fair election and transparent and accountable government after election, because they are controlled by these illegal corporates, corrupt corporates. You have no say. If you speak, they will arrest you. So democracy degrading into autocracy. This is what is happening. That is why, how dare a central government, who are just representatives elected by us, they are our servants. How can they say, I will not give you information? We are the boss. It is shameful, because this is lack of knowledge of the citizens, why this hooliganism is happening, and how dare these bureaucrats who make decisions, they control. Supreme Court came heavy on electoral bonds. It has exposed the nexus, how pharma and insurance, 99.99% without undergoing any trial, how those drugs are released, and they are paying political parties, right from state political parties to national parties. Like that, Mega Engineering Infrastructure Limited, where it has involved in Kaleshwaram, you have seen how illegal money. So when Supreme Court could do that, how is that Supreme Court is keeping quiet on certain important aspects of conducting elections, wherein the voting percentages, when they said electronic voting machine, once you vote, it is registered, and every polling booth has got only 1,000 or 1,500 votes. Polling booth not in that area. Now we are in so and so X area. So X area, that in that X area, say some kilometers around, you have this much of population including children, minor. But when it comes to polling booth and electoral rolls and elections, only those who have attained the age of 18, they will go and vote. So that selected list of entire in X, if you say 100 votes are there, those 100 votes are there in that polling booth EVM. And you have an electoral roll list. So in that list, as per address, your locality, your names, your family's names are there. In that family, who have attained age of 18, they are enlisted in that electoral roll as voters. But unfortunately, in my own case, I have complained, Supreme Court keeping quiet, President of India, Election Commission of India doesn't act. They have not bothered to give me a new voter ID card, as in Santosh Nagar Colony, New Santosh Nagar Colony, Hyderabad Parliament constituency, Yakutpura Assembly constituency, Madanapet, when we say corporation, municipal corporation, Greater Hyderabad, they have not provided votes in our own house, except for my mother and sister. They have removed all other eligible votes from that address where I am still residing. They have shifted it to another polling booth with a different address. I've been complaining right from 2023 September, before Telangana Assembly elections, even now after Parliament elections also, Election Commission of India or Telangana Chief Electoral Officer, they did not bother. Shaming the electoral process, and this is how we are saying you are not a free and fair election. When eligible voters are not allowed to vote, and they are investing a lot of our money, mind you, Election Commission of India, in the name of electoral enrollment every year. And every year after January, fresh electoral rolls come out. They are controlled by these political parties in AIMIM or some party in old. They have employed their own corporators. Those who have not even attained age of 18 and illiterates, they're not properly trained. They go around, they enlist, they prepare new voter list, they remove manmani. Those who feel that they don't vote this party or this candidate, they'll remove. And it is done by GHMC in Hyderabad. Collector Hyderabad is there as. Then what are they doing? Telangana Chief Electoral Officer, Election Commission of India, are they sleeping? Like that, I have been a complainant on constitutional violence since 2018. It is on record of Election Commission of India. Can you deny? 18 complaint IDs, and even on August 5th, 2020, under Justice Babdeji, it went for a pill also. But everyone knows after that how the governance here ran to Delhi and they supported a deputy in Rajya Sabha. My petition just lying like that even till today. My petition is simple, very clear, right from 2018. Eligible voters were not allowed to exercise their right to franchise in assembly elections, as it has been preponed in 2018. They were allowed to vote in 2019. I said, why? Is there any constitutional emergency? Where was the need for the first assembly, Telangana assembly, to be dissolved? Because every year, January, first after only, you will get new electoral rolls. Those who are attaining 18 or those who are transferred, those who are dead, they are removed. Like that, if the purity of electoral rolls is more important for any free and fair election. And these electoral rolls are done booth-wise. That means every polling booth, how many, if I have told you, the polling booth number area is X, in that you have 100 votes. And if 10 people have died, it is 90. And if 20 people have added new after attaining age, it goes to 110. And if 10 employees have moved again, it becomes 100. And if another 10 employees have come to that area, if they have registered, it will go to 110. Like this, every year they have to do the enrollment. This is the enrollment process. And at the city level, it is municipalities, they are doing, and supervised by, if I'm not correct, IAS district collector, and even the gentleman heading GHMC, Greater Hyderabad, is also an IAS, and they are investing our money. But how is that? They are removing our votes. And when we complain till now, they have not bothered to rectify Mr. GHMC Commissioner as well as Hyderabad Collector, including Telangana Chief Electoral Officer and Election Commission of India. And even from President, they are sending. We have directly sent to them. You kindly attend to this. But in spite of President's direction, see, Election Commission of India, Telangana Chief Electoral Officer, or for that matter, Hyderabad booth level officer, or those collector or GHMC, they do not bother to attend. Did they attend? No. I'm just giving you my example. When such is the case, across India, if it is Lok Sabha election along with assembly elections like in Andhra Pradesh, if voters are not getting their ID and proper polling booth address or information, how is that they are going and voting? So this is what they say, fake votes. This fake votes has happened in 2018. I am the complainant. Till 3 o'clock, the voting percentage on December 7, 2018 was 20 or 30%. And after, they did not give the voting percent immediately, the same day. 28 hours after that, 60, 70% voter percentage they give. EVM, as soon as you vote, everything is recorded. In the EVM, I've told you, X area EVM. In that X area, 100 votes are there. In that X area, how many? 50 or 60 voters have voted. Till that time, that information should come out. Why they are not revealing? Releasing it immediately. That is where all this confusion, that is why everyone is demanding the not percentages. How many votes in that polling booth, if 100 votes are there, how many votes have been polled till 5 p.m. on that day? And how many in that after polling closes? When you go, you are asked to sign on in a register that is called 17A. Against your name, serial number, your address, or your EPIC number, voter ID card, or if you are not carrying that, your Aadhaar card, they will show you. You have to sign. That is 17A register. It is confirming that in this X poll, out of 100, you are going there and you are signing, and then you go and vote. After voting, after entire voting process is completed, then the polling officer of that booth, along with election agents, every political party or contesting candidate will have an agent. So they will appoint their agent. That is why you find when you enter the polling booth, you have 5 or 6 people sitting this side, and you have the electoral officers on the left side, and right in front you have that EVM machine. Along with that VVT pad. When you vote, if for a few seconds you will find that symbol falling into that, whether you have, that is confirmation. After you press that button on your choice of vote, whether that button has properly ensured that you have voted for that symbol or not, that will be seen in VVT pad machine, and it goes. So this is the process. As soon as you enter, they will ask you, what is your name? And they will immediately, you find them, these agents, along with the officers here, election officers, they will open their electoral roll, list of voters in that polling booth. Everyone will say, what is, you will say in that list, what is your number? What is your name? Then they will say, yes, so and so has come. Officials will tick and the agents will tick. And then you are given the polling, the voter. After you show the voter ID, they will mark you on your this thing that you are voting. And they will give you the slip on which you are supposed to go and vote on the EVM. If it is ballot paper, they will give you the ballot there. But here it is EVM. They will notify, they will give you a small, then you have to go and vote on the EVM. This is the process. So once you enter, there is a foolproof that 17A register, first you have to sign. You have to identify yourself along with election officials as well as the agents, polling agents of political parties or contesting independent candidates. So double proof you are identified. Such process, after completion, the polling officer and the election agents who are present, it is clearly shown in the 17A register where you sign. Out of X area, 100 votes, 60 votes have been cast. So there is a clear description. And if there are any votes which have been negated and all those voters who have come and turned away, if there is any other issue, it is clearly noted in that. So before closing that EVM, this polling officers, along with the polling agents, they reassess everything. How many votes have been polled in that area, out of how many votes, and if there are any discrepancies, that also is taken away. And along with that, they are given the slips wherein they will try to close the EVMs. So this is done in a process. So it is completed in the very same day, except for those who are in different terrains. But EVM machine, you have number of votes and how many voters have come and voted, cross-checked by 17A, the register which you sign along with polling agents and polling officers. And when you are closing the EVM with authority seal or sign, they give you those 1 or 2 or these polling agents and polling officers, they sign and close it. At what time they are closing, everything is written. And this is carried to the reception center where this we call strong rooms to count for these ballot EVMs when all the entire process of voting is completed in either assembly or India now. Likewise, 5th phase or whatever it is going on till January 1st, January 4th only the votes are counted. So till that time, they are safely kept in strong rooms with CCTVs. Last time also I have shown you that Baramati, I think Maharashtra, how CCTVs went off for 45 minutes. So that is how. So now what they are demanding is, how is that when this process is so clear? Why is that you are not giving the polling votes? Percentages you say this much. And after some time, as it has happened in 2018, that example I was giving, till 3 o'clock, so much of vote. After 28 hours, 60, 70%. That means that entire day, night, those who have stood in the queue before 5 p.m., they should have voted. Am I right? It is clear. So what I demanded is, if they have voted, and at that time Rajat Kumar was there, every booth had a video footage. So I demanded video footage, then 17A, which you go and sign. And when they close, polling officers and along with agents, they sign. That is 17C we call. So all these three should go for forensic appraisals, which this was the complaint. Along with eligible voters were not allowed, they were discriminated without any constitutional emergency. The elections were preponed. This was my complaint. I said, this is constitutional violations against the basic structure of our own constitution, without which free and fair election will not be able to held. If you are preponed, you are helping one political party and you are depriving those youngsters who would have voted maybe against you. So fearing that, that is one angle. The other angle is 17A, 17C and video footage I demanded. Likewise, in Andhra Pradesh, when you have seen last time, they were standing in long queues entire night to vote. Those who were there in the queue till 5 p.m., they were allowed to vote. But did the same thing happen in Telangana? Where are the visuals? Till now, that video footage which Rajat Kumar stated every polling booth had, 17A and 17C. 17A where the voters will sign, and 17C after polling process EVMs are closed with the signature, and that closing we call, every polling booth, they give Election Commission of India or Telangana Chief Electoral Officer, for example, they will give you 3 or 4 authorized things to close the EVM. So I'll show you one example. In one such case, only 2 were utilized, and that is also numbered and tagged. So with that, they closed the EVM with the signatures of polling officer of that booth and the election agents. So the time, everything is there. That is why I demanded forensic appraisals to know exactly what time it has been closed. And 17A registers, when they have signed, and video footage. This will determine. They cannot escape. Till today, they have not bothered from 2018. Then after the same was repeated in Hyderabad Parliament constituency. Till 3 o'clock, not even 7 to 8%. All of a sudden, 30-40% they said next day. From where did such percentage come? Who are those voters? What happened to 17A register, video footage? And 17C, when did they close and again when did they open? We have seen in Vikarabad, VVT pads were thrown away. And in Nalgonda, Takrekal or some constituency where there were ex-polling booth, they had 100 votes. But they are counted 120 votes. Because all, for that reason, this election, everyone is demanding in that polling booth, how many number of votes are there and how many of them went and voted. This is the information which every Indian voter is demanding. So what is so great of this thing up for Election Commission of India denying? This is absolutely nonsense. Who are Election Commission of India? Are they unconstitutional? Are they extra constitutional or constitutional ultra? Who are they? They are answerable to us. We are the constitution. They are public servants. They are there with a defined duty to conduct elections. This I will show you. Everyone should understand. And how dare that they don't provide information? Absolute nonsense and trash. They are taking undue advantage. And that is the reason why this Election Commission of India, it should have been a neutral and independent body, T.N. Session was saying. Till some time, it was only one election commissioner when T.N. Session was there. Then after that, two body, then three body. I'll just show you under. So now you hope you have understood. And Supreme Court, when it could bear open electoral bonds, and it says yesterday's this thing, 2019 also same prayer is pending. Then like electoral bonds since 2018, why these vital issues are pending with Supreme Court of India? How is that? And Supreme Court Chief Justice of India, who was supposed to be there in electing or selecting election commissioners of India, has been removed by a amendment which was brought by Modi government. Because I've been complaining from 2018, including Honorable Prime Minister's educational qualifications. We were not leaving. They gave so many complaint IDs. Till now, they have not bothered to act. Now they have changed. Election Commission of India, they got cabinet minister, prime minister and opposition leader. That means, will any cabinet minister will veto Prime Minister of India? Is this not making fun of our own electoral system? Is that not for that reason? This Election Commission of India has become so daring that they are not going to provide you information. That means, dal mein kuch kala hai. Otherwise, what is there? When public, who are public? They are Constitution of India. They are the voters. How is that you deny information to the voters? That is why Election Commission of India or chief electoral officers in every state are being looked in a different way by some who are complaining against them. So is it not the duty of chief electoral officers in every state and Election Commission of India to come out clean, stating that, oh, this area, these many voters, they have voted. And this is how it is now. Instead of releasing percentages after 2 days, 3 days, that too when electronic voting machines you have, when you click, everything is visible there, including voters' identity in the form of 17A is already again guaranteed for cross-checking. Election agents are there. Then where is the problem? Where is the problem? Election agents are being so. That is even candidates, how they withdrew in Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Is it a Lok Sabha election or tamasha? Unopposed. How many lakhs of voters in that parliamentary constituency? And these political parties, with Congress, in both instances, Congress candidates give up and they withdraw in favor of BJP candidates at the nick of time. And again, contestants are not being allowed to stand in elections and contest. They are being rejected. What is this nonsense? How can you reject under technical scrutiny? Is this democracy? Let people, by not voting them, reject them. But how can Election Commission of India or Chief Electoral Officers? That is a big topic. Again, I've come back to. So I'll just show you what Election Commission of India is, because let us wind up. I don't want to. The Constitution of India has established a permanent and independent body to ensure free and fair elections in the country, known as Election Commission. The commission is responsible for holding Lok Sabha elections in India. I'll just come back. The Constitution provides the Election Commission of India with the power of direction, superintendence, and control of elections to Parliament, state legislatures, the Office of President of India, and the Office of President of India also. So it is such a powerful body, and they have power of direction, superintendence, and control over of elections. That means when we are complaining, how is that Election Commission of India will say, no, we will not answer you, we will not provide you information, and we are not responsible under the Constitution. You are appointed under the Constitution with the power of direction. Election Commission of India, if you don't understand, Chief Electoral Officers, kindly go through your appointment, how your appointment, why your appointment, and what are the exact duties you are supposed to do. And when someone complains out of your violation of these duties, they are constitutional violations. If Election Commission of India violates, the spirit of democracy is gone. That means a freedom of India is gone. What is that nonsense they're talking? With the power of direction, superintendence, and control of elections to parliaments, the Election Commission is an all India body that is common to both the central government and state governments. It must be noted here that the commission does not deal with elections to municipalities and panchayats in the states. There we have a state election commission. Hence, a separate state election commission is provided by the Constitution of India. Constitutional appointment of ECI. Since its inception in 1950 and till 15th October 1989, the Election Commission was a one-member body with only the Chief Election Commissioner as its sole member. On 16th October 1989, the voting age was changed from 21 to 18 years. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So 2 more election commissioners were appointed by the president in order to cope with the increased work of the Election Commission. See, since then, the Election Commission was a multi-member body that consisted of 3 election commissioners. Later on, the 2 posts of election commissioners were eliminated in January 1990, and the Election Commission was reverted to the previous position. This was repeated again later in October 1993, when the president appointed 2 more election commissioners. Since then, the Election Commission functions as a multi-member body comprising of 3 commissioners. The chief and the 2 other election commissioners have the same powers and emoluments, including salaries, which are the same as a Supreme Court judge. Now, what Modi government has done, it's shaming. They have brought down the stature of the election commissioners of India by having amendments wherein they have removed Chief Justice of India. They got cabinet minister along with Prime Minister and opposition leader, relegating the commissioners to deputy secretary levels. That means government is controlling an independent body, supposed to be independent body. How shame it is. So the office is held by them for a term of 6 years or until they attain 65 years, whichever happens first. So this is what I'm trying. Independence of the election commission. Article 324 of the Constitution of India mentions the previous provisions of safeguard and ensure the independent and impartial functioning of the election commission, which has alpha. We have everything here. See, in other words, he can be the chief election commissioner is provided with security of tenure. He cannot be removed from his office except in the same manner and on the same grounds as a judge of the Supreme Court. In other words, he can be removed by the president on the basis of resolution passed to that effect by both houses of parliament with a special majority, either on the ground of provided misbehavior or incapacity. Thus, he does not hold his office until the pleasure of the president, though he is appointed by him. The service conditions of the chief election commissioner cannot be varied to his disadvantage after his appointment. So this is what has happened. Why amendments have come? See, powers, functions, and responsibilities of election commission. Among the major constitutional bodies in India, the Election Commission is a permanent constitutional body. It was established in accordance with the Constitution on 25th January 1950. The Constitution has vested to this body superintendence, direction, and control of the entire process for conduct of elections. So, administrative, advisory, quasi-judicial, aspirant preparing. So, I'm just giving you powers of election commission. In detail, you have all these powers. The commission is aided in its function by deputy election commissioners. The deputy ECs are taken from the civil services and they are appointed by the commission. They have a fixed tenure. They are aided by the secretaries, deputy secretaries, joint secretaries, and under secretaries posted in the commissioner's secretariat. These are the functions. Composition of election, Article 324 of Constitution. So these are all way forward. So I'm just giving you under 324, they are vested in powers. 325, no person to eligible for inclusion or to claim to be excluded. In a special electoral roll on grounds of religion, race, you cannot exclude. Article 326, elections to the House of the People and to the legislative assemblies of the states to be on the basis of adult suffrage. Article 327, power of parliament to make provision with respect to elections to legislators. Article 328, power of legislature of a state to make provision. So Article 329, bar to interference by the courts. This is how the court has taken umbrage, stating that we will not interfere because of this Article 329, making Election Commission of India the sole independent body. When such is the case, after recent amendment wherein they removed Chief Justice of India, I'll just try to play this so that
including the Chief Justice of India in the appointment process in order to ensure neutrality. Arvind joining us with the latest on that story. Arvind, it was interesting to see the Supreme Court's observations in all of this, talking about the need for a man with for a person of strong character, referring to a past chief election commissioner like T.N. Sessions, saying somebody like him is needed, and effectively saying a best man needed for the poll panel at what appears to be a difficult time.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court Constitution bench headed by Justice K.N. Joseph is hearing a batch of petitions that seek a collegium-like system to be put in place for appointment of chief election commissioner and also election commissioners. If you could see now, the election commissioners are being appointed by the president on the advice of the union cabinet. But that's where a batch of petitions have been filed in Supreme Court, wherein they asked the Supreme Court to constitute a collegium-like system comprising of Prime Minister and also Chief Justice of India, along with the leader of opposition, in order to ensure that the appointments are done in a fair manner and also to ensure that neutrality is complied with when such important appointments are put in place. So, in fact, during the course of the hearing, some strong observations have also been passed by the Supreme Court. If you could see, Supreme Court said that the CEC should be a person with character who cannot be bulldozed. That's something, a strong observation that the Supreme Court passed while hearing this matter. And the Supreme Court also highlighted the fact that a person like a T.N. Sessions happens once in a while. And also, very importantly, Supreme Court also noted that based on the data that the Supreme Court gave it to both the petitioner and also the respondents in this matter, since 2000.
But unfortunately, Supreme Court Chief Justice of India, who was there in the panel, removed by PM Modi government, amending the appointment of election commissioners, wherein Prime Minister of India, Cabinet Minister, and the leader of opposition. This is what endangering a free and fair election. After Modi, tomorrow if someone else comes, will there be any neutrality? They will select and elect. And this is going to become a tamasha, major tamasha, making mockery of our people participatory constitutional democracy. And in doing so, now it is very clearly seen how Election Commission of India is trying to bulldoze people, saying that we will not provide information. It will time consuming and they have no right to know, as they have done in electoral bonds issue. See how shaming it is. This is where we say the free and fair elections to uphold the spirit of democracy becomes a novice. That is why we said, just trying to get you the latest, what Supreme Court stated. I'm just trying to show you This is what looks how to check your polling booth. That is also become a big headache now. They ask if are your EPIC number, then phone number, and you are other this thing with which you can go to this portal and you can check. But even after checking myself, we were not found. We don't know where it has gone. So how foolproof it is, I'm trying to show you. It's not foolproof. Sorry, there's gone something else. This is how they try to subdue my ECI's questionable opposition to disclosure of Form 17C. No legal mandate to disclose data. Disclosure may lead to mischief. See, this is what Supreme Court has said to the petition in the Supreme Court. Overlooking Rule 93 of Conduct of Election Rules that allows people to inspect and take copies of Form 17C, the ECI in its counter affidavit in the ongoing matter in the Supreme Court, the ECI has claimed there exists no legal right to public to access Form 17C. The case to be heard. See how extra constitutional Election Commission of India, who the hell Election Commission of India is? What do they think of themselves? They are responsible. I have shown you Article 324 of the Constitution. They are not above Constitution. All chief election officers or election commissioners, you are bound by the Constitution. Constitution means every citizen of India, every voter. How dare you say this? Are we in a democratic country run by our Constitution? How dare the ECI can say that? See, overlooking Rule 93 of Conduct of Election Rules that allows people to inspect and take copies of Form 17C. When I have a doubt, either if I am not allowed to vote, even if I am allowed to vote, because of maneuverings of the percentage of voting, if my votes have removed, already they are there. Since 2018, I am complaining. It is there on the record. And in Munugodu also, they gave me stating that, yes, enticements have happened. Then I asked them to countermand Munugodu poll. They did not do, even till today. Nalgonda collector, and still the complaint is there with them. They are not acting. They should have countermanded Munugodu poll when they said, yes, enticements and constitutional violations have happened. Now, the same Election Commission of India, I am the complainant since 2018. So many complaint IDs on so many issues. How dare they can say the ECI in its counter affidavit in the ongoing matter in the SC, the ECI has claimed there exists no legal right to public to access Form 17C. Who the hell you are to say what public? Public or Constitution? I don't know who has drafted this petition. I don't know how dare he can do that. Who is public? Public or Constitution, my dear friends. In that Constitution, public, there are voters. There are those who have not attained adult franchise, but they are all Constitution. And you are subservient, a public servant of the Constitution to hold these elections in a free and fair way. And how is that you say to the boss, to the public voters, public, they have no right, as government has done in electoral bonds case. Supreme Court could have done the same. The interpretation is very clear and simple. I don't know why Supreme Court again, like electoral bonds, taking time. Why they are taking time? It is just making mockery. We will become a mockery in front of the world. Greatest democracy, we say. But what is happening when you are conducting elections? If someone complains, they have every right and reason to know that their complaint has been addressed in a transparent and accountable way. Otherwise, we say it is not a free and fair election. Otherwise, ECI has got not allowing genuine information to be shared. And that to voters. That to voters. How can it be? That is really something which we have to. So like that. And this is what I'm showing. These are the electoral rolls. How is it a secret? ECC faces questions on poll data. How can it be a secret? Huh? How can it be a secret? This is not a matter of state security. Does this threaten the national security? Senior advocate Kapil Sibal, who is the now Supreme Court Bar Association president, also said the Election Commission's reluctance on immediate disclosure of the authenticated polling figures on its website, for which it said there was no legal mandate, was criticized by lawyers, activists, and small parties who said the law does not prohibit the poll body from doing so either. See, these are the electoral rolls. This is how electoral rolls are. They are the ones which are there in the EVM. We count on that. And how can Election Commission of India, subservient to Constitution? Constitution means every citizen can, how daringly they say, what is the problem with revealing the number of votes cast? How is it a secret affair? This is not a matter of state security. Does this threaten the national security? Senior advocate and Rajya Sabha member Kapil Sibal said. And she is also contesting, and she also demanded the same, a copy of Form 17C, the account of votes recorded at the polling booth filled by the presiding officer of every polling station after the voting ends for the day. I did not have resources to set up polling. Yes, she is demanding. Then what is the problem? A copy of Form 17C, Part 1 is given to the polling agents of political parties by the presiding officer, detailing the number of eligible voters assigned to the booth, as I have already explained, number of electors in the register of voters, the number of voters who decided not to exercise their franchise, and the number of voters not allowed to vote. It requires the presiding officer to specify the number of votes recorded as per EVMs. Polling agents are mandated to give the officer a receipt under Section 495 of the Conduct of Election Rules, COER 1961, citing total lack of resources. See, this is absolutely mind-blowing. How can Supreme Court of India? How can? Keep quiet.
चलिए आज हम एक क्विक एनालिसिस करते हैं कि 199 रुपीस में हमारे भारत में क्या क्या मिल सकता है तो अगर
Expressing reluctance to interfere in the middle of the election process, the Supreme Court on Friday, May 24th, adjourned an application seeking directions to the Election Commission of India to publish the booth-wise absolute numbers of voter turnout and upload the Form 17C records of votes polled on its website. A vacation bench of Justices Dipankar Datta and Satish Chandra Sharma said that a hands-off approach has to be taken by the court regarding the election process and that there cannot be any interruptions in the process. The bench also pointed out that the prayers in the interlocutory application are the same as the prayers in the main writ petition filed in 2019. The bench said that the main relief cannot be sought in an interim application and suggested that the application be heard along with the main petition. The interim application was filed by NGO Association for Democratic Reforms in a writ petition filed by it in 2019. On May 17th, a bench of Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice J.B. Pardewala and Justice Manoj Mishra directed listing of the matter on May 24th before a vacation bench, calling on the Election Commission of India to file its reply as to why Form 17C data could not be disclosed. For more such legal updates, don't forget to follow Live Law.
And so at least now we are requesting or we are demanding Supreme Court, when you could pass such a order against electoral bond saying it's unconstitutional. Now my only appeal to Supreme Court of India, to all those learned judges, including High Court, are these so-called public voters not part of the Constitution? That means, are these voters or the public who are coming to you, or the so-called public word which has Election Commission of India used, are they not Constitution themselves? If they are Constitution themselves, if the Constitution seeks something, some information, those public servants, including Election Commission of India Chief Commissioner or whatever the other commissioners, is it not their duty, responsibility to share the information? Is it not unconstitutional, Supreme Court of India, as is the case in electoral bonds? Correct me if I am wrong. Correct me if I am wrong. Whether it is during the process or after the process, what is there? It has to. I'll show you some regional language also.
ഇന്നും വില കൂടി എന്നൊരു വാർത്ത വന്നാൽ നമ്മൾ ഉറപ്പിക്കും അത് പെട്രോളോ ഗ്യാസോ ആയിരിക്കുമെന്ന്. ഇന്ത്യയിലായാലും ലോകത്ത്
రిజిస్టర్ ఆఫ్ ఓటర్స్ ఫామ్ 17A ఇది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇక్కడ సీరియల్ నెంబర్ ఉంటది, సీరియల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్టర్ ఇన్ ద ఎలక్టరల్ రూల్స్. ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ కాలంలో టోటల్ ఇన్ ద కంట్రోల్ యూనిట్ చెక్డ్ అండ్ ఫౌండ్ టు బి 0 అని మాత్రం ఇది కంపల్సరీ ఫస్ట్ కాలంలో మనం రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది, మొత్తం చెక్ చేసుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. మరి కంట్రోల్ యూనిట్ లో అది 0 ఉన్నదనేది కంపల్సరీగా గుర్తించిన తర్వాతనే మనం ఇక్కడ ఇందులోకి వెళ్ళి స్టార్ట్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ కాలం వదిలిపెట్టిన తర్వాత ఈ విధంగా డీటెయిల్ సిగ్నేచర్ ఈ విధంగా తీసుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఏ డాక్యుమెంట్ తీసుకురావడం జరిగింది అనేది కూడా అక్కడ వేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఒకవేళ ఎపిక్ అయితే ఎపిక్ అని రాయడం, ఆధార్ అయితే ఆధార్, ఈ విధంగా మనం చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. కూడా చూడండి, బిఫోర్ ద ఫస్ట్ ఓటర్ సైన్ ఇన్ ఫామ్ 17A ఫస్ట్ ఓటర్ సైన్ చేసే ముందు ద పోలింగ్ ఆఫీసర్ టు చెక్స్ విత్ ద ప్రిసైడింగ్ ఆఫీసర్ అండ్ రికార్డ్ ఇన్ ఇంక్ ఇన్ ఫామ్ 17A దట్ టోటల్ ఇన్ ద కంట్రోల్ యూనిట్ చెక్డ్ అండ్ ఫౌండ్ టు బి 0. ఇది చాలా జాగ్రత్తగా చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. నెక్స్ట్ అకౌంట్ ఆఫ్ ఓట్స్ రికార్డెడ్ ఫామ్ 17C. ఈ 17C నింపడం అనేది చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇది ఖచ్చితంగా మనం ఏజెంట్స్ కూడా ఇవ్వాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ మరి లోక్సభ అసెంబ్లీ అంటే 2 ఉన్నప్పుడు మరి 1 ఉన్నా కానీ ఖచ్చితంగా అయితే మనం నింపాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ మనం ఏ విధంగా నింపాల్సి ఉంటుంది అనేది కూడా ఇక్కడ చూడొచ్చు. ఇది ఇప్పుడు ఉదాహరణకి ఇది ఏపీకి సంబంధించి మనం అయితే ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ అని రాయడం జరిగింది. అట్లా మన తెలంగాణ అయితే తెలంగాణ ఎక్కడ నిర్వహించడం జరిగింది. తర్వాత నేమ్ ఆఫ్ పోలింగ్ స్టేషన్, ఆ పోలింగ్ స్టేషన్ నెంబర్ అండ్ నేమ్ అక్కడ మనం రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. తర్వాత కంట్రోల్ యూనిట్ ఇక్కడ నెంబర్ ఉంటుంది, కంట్రోల్ యూనిట్ నెంబర్, అలాగే బ్యాలెట్ యూనిట్ నెంబర్, వివిప్యాట్ నెంబరు, ఈ విధంగా మనకు ఈ నెంబర్ రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. తర్వాత టోటల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్టర్స్ అసైన్ టు ద పోలింగ్ స్టేషన్, పోలింగ్ స్టేషన్ కు ఎన్ని ఓట్లు ఉన్నాయి అనేది ఫస్ట్ రాయాలి. తర్వాత ఎన్ని ఓట్లు 17Aలో అంటే ఎన్ని మనకు పోల్ అయిన ఓట్లు అనేది నెక్స్ట్ రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఓట్స్ డిసైడింగ్ నాట్ టు రికార్డ్ ఓట్స్ అండర్ రూల్ 49O అంటే కొన్ని రూల్స్ ప్రకారం ఏమైనా రికార్డ్ కాని ఉన్నాయా 2. నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఓటర్స్ అండ్ అలౌడ్ టు ఓట్ అండర్ ద రూల్ 49M ప్రకారం ఇట్లా ఏమైనా ఉంటేనే అవి రాయాలి, లేకపోతే అవి 0 పెట్టాల్సింది. అలాగే టోటల్ నెంబర్ 1 ఇప్పుడు సీరియల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్టర్స్ ఇన్ ఫామ్ 17A ఈ విధంగా ఇది సీరియల్ నెంబర్ లో ఇది రాయడం జరుగుతుంది. అంటే టోటల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టెస్ట్ ఓట్స్, ఇది టెస్ట్ ఓటు ఒక ఓటు అయింది, అది సీరియల్ నెంబరు 17Aలో ఎక్కడ నెంబరు అనేది ఆ నెంబర్ 233 అంటే ఆ సీరియల్ నెంబర్ కాడ ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ గా ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. ఇది క్యాండిడేట్స్ ఫర్ వూమ్ టెస్ట్ ఓట్స్ ఏమంటే సీరియల్ నెంబర్ 2లో మరి ఎవరు వేసిర్రు అనేది కూడా ఆ ఓటు ఒకటే ఓట్ అయింది కాబట్టి ఆ నెంబరు నేము అవన్నీ కూడా మనం రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. మామూలుగా అయితే అవి 0లే ఉంటాయి. ఈ విధంగా ఇవి చూసుకోండి. రిసీవ్డ్ ఫర్ యూజ్ అంటే టోటల్ గా మనకు ఈ టెండర్డ్ బ్యాలెట్ పేపర్స్ ఎన్ని వచ్చినాయి, తర్వాత ఫ్రమ్ ఏ నెంబర్ నుంచి ఏ నెంబర్కి వచ్చినాయి, తర్వాత ఇష్యూడ్ టు ఎలక్షన్స్ నాట్ యూజ్డ్ అండ్ రిటర్న్డ్, ఇట్లా ఈ విధంగా మనం ఇవి నింపాల్సి ఉంటుంది. అలాగే పేపర్ సీల్స్ అప్లైడ్ ఫర్ యూజ్ టోటల్ నెంబర్ అంటే పేపర్ సీల్స్ ఎన్ని రావడం జరిగింది, ఇప్పుడు 3 వచ్చినాయి. అలాగే సీరియల్ నెంబర్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎక్కడ 107 నుంచి 109. పేపర్ సీల్స్ యూజ్డ్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఎన్ని 2 వాడాం అంటే ఏదేది వాడారు, సీరియల్ నెంబర్ 107 వాడారు, 108 అంటే 109 వాడలేదు. అలాగే అన్యూజ్డ్ పేపర్ సీల్స్ రిటర్న్ టు రిటర్నింగ్ ఆఫీసర్ సీరియల్ నెంబర్ 109 ఇట్లా ఒకటి ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. ఆ ఒకటి ఏ నుంచి దాకా. డ్యామేజ్డ్ పేపర్ సీల్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా, నీళ్ళు ఉంటే నీళ్ళు, ఈ విధంగా మనం ఇవి రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. తర్వాత వ్యక్తుల పేర్లు వాటికి సంబంధించిన డీటెయిల్స్ కూడా ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనం రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. సిగ్నేచర్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రిసైడింగ్ ఆఫీసర్, డేటు, టైము, అక్కడ మనం ప్లేసు అని వేస్తాం. అలాగే రిసెప్షన్ కేంద్రంలో అప్పగించవలసినవి ఇక్కడ క్యారింగ్ కేసులలో సీల్ చేయబడిన కంట్రోల్ యూనిట్, బ్యాలెట్ యూనిట్, వివిప్యాట్ మరియు వివిప్యాట్ బ్యాటరీ కూడా ఇవ్వాల్సి ఉంటుంది. మొదటి ప్యాకెట్ 3 అంశాలు కలిగి ఉన్న ప్యాకెట్, రెండవ ప్యాకెట్ స్క్రూటినీ కవర్ అంటే 4 అంశాలను కలిగి ఉంటుంది. మూడవ ప్యాకెట్ స్టాచ్యుటరీ కవర్ 5 అంశాలను కలిగి ఉంటుంది. 4వ ప్యాకెట్ నాన్ స్టాచ్యుటరీ కవర్లు 11 అంశాలు ఉంటాయి. 5వ ప్యాకెట్ హ్యాండ్ బుక్స్ అంటే 3 అంశాలు ఉంటాయి. 6వ ప్యాకెట్ ఇతర మెటీరియల్ 5+ అంశాలు, మిగిలిన ఇతర స్టేషనరీ వస్తువులు కూడా ఇవి రిసెప్షన్ కేంద్రంలో అప్పగించవలసినవి.
9 rupees. 9 rupees cannot even buy you this packet of
I have
biscuit.
just clearly allowed you to understand what 17A and 17C. So I think this is very clear. When that process is so clear, where is the problem for Election Commission of India or Chief Electoral Officers in denying information to so-called public who themselves are the constitution and voters without giving only provisional marks given, mom, the final marks aren't ready. So this is how Election Commission of India's non-reluctance, controversy over ECI not releasing. See, this is what has happened. So Election Commission of India is becoming a mockery.
धीरे धीरे उजागर हो रहा है। चुनाव आयोग फॉर्म 17 देने की हेराफेरी लगातार क्यों कर रहा है? फॉर्म 17C को वेबसाइट पर अपलोड करने में चुनाव आयोग लगातार इनकार क्यों कर रहा है? ऐसे तमाम सवाल अब उठने लगे हैं। अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन के अध्यक्ष कपिल सिब्बल ने चुनाव आयोग के ऊपर कई सवाल उठा दिए हैं। कहा है कि अब तो जरूर दाल में कुछ काला है। फॉर्म 17C का डेटा अपलोड करने में चुनाव आयोग गोल मोल बातें कर रहा है। फॉर्म 17C का डेटा अपलोड अब तक क्यों नहीं हुआ है? 5 चरणों के चुनाव हो चुके हैं। 1,07,00,000 वोट ईवीएम में कैसे बढ़ गए? हर चुनाव क्षेत्र में 25,000 वोट कैसे बढ़ गए? ये तमाम सवाल लगातार सुप्रीम कोर्ट चुनाव आयोग पर उठा रहा था और अब कपिल सिब्बल भी उठा रहे हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट में इन सवालों का जवाब देना अब चुनाव आयोग के लिए और मुश्किल हो सकता है। दोस्तों, पूरी पारदर्शिता के बिना कोई भी इलेक्शन लीगल नहीं हो सकता है, लेकिन इस बार चुनाव आयोग ने हद कर दी है। चुनाव आयोग कुंभकर्ण की नींद सो रहा है। चुनाव आयोग पर एक आरोप मतदान के आंकड़ों को देरी से जारी करने को लेकर लगा, जिसकी सुनवाई सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चल रही थी। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने चुनाव आयोग को 1 हफ्ते के अंदर मतदान के आंकड़ों को जारी करने वाली याचिका पर अपना पक्ष रखने को कहा है। लेकिन इससे पहले राज्यसभा सांसद और सुप्रीम कोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन के अध्यक्ष कपिल सिब्बल ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके चुनाव आयोग की विश्वसनीयता पर सवाल उठा दिए हैं। उन्होंने बताया कि चुनाव आयोग ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में हलफनामा दाखिल करके कहा कि फॉर्म 17C का डेटा वेबसाइट पर अपलोड करने का कोई कानूनी प्रावधान नहीं है, कोई कानून ही नहीं है। अब ये फॉर्म 17C दोस्तों सबसे बड़ा बवाल बना हुआ है इस वक्त। ये फॉर्म 17C होता क्या है, आपको वो भी समझ लेना चाहिए। दरअसल दोस्तों, कंडक्ट ऑफ इलेक्शन रूल्स 1961 के तहत कुल मतदाता और कुल वोटर्स का डेटा 2 फॉर्म में भरा जाता है। पहला फॉर्म 17A और दूसरा फॉर्म 17C। किसी भी मतदाता को मतदान की परमिशन देने से पहले पोलिंग ऑफिसर फॉर्म 17A में वोटर का इलेक्टोरल रोल नंबर दर्ज करता है। इसके बाद फॉर्म 17C उस समय भरा जाता है जब पोलिंग बंद हो जाती है, यानी कि कंप्लीट हो जाती है। कंडक्ट ऑफ इलेक्शन रूल्स 1961 के नियम 49S के मुताबिक मतदान खत्म होने के बाद प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर फॉर्म 17C में दर्ज वोटों का लेखा जोखा तैयार करता है। ये काम हो जाने के बाद इस फॉर्म को एक अलग लिफाफे में पैक कर के रख दिया जाता है और इस लिफाफे के ऊपर लिखा होता है रिकॉर्ड किए गए वोटों का लेखा। आपको बता दें दोस्तों कि फॉर्म 17C में भी 2 पार्ट्स होते हैं, यानी कि जैसे पहले फॉर्म 17A और फॉर्म 17C था, अब उस फॉर्म 17C के भी 2 भाग होते हैं। पहले पार्ट में दर्ज वोटों का हिसाब होता है, तो वहीं जो दूसरा पार्ट होता है उसमें गिनती का नतीजा होता है। पहला पार्ट मतदान के दिन भरा जाता है, जिसे बताने की मांग जो है ये तमाम जो एक्टिविस्ट हैं ये सब कर रहे हैं, प्रशांत भूषण कर रहे हैं, तो ये जो तमाम मांगे हो रही हैं ये इसी पार्ट के लिए हो रही हैं। इस फॉर्म में पोलिंग स्टेशन का नाम होता है और नंबर होता है। इस्तेमाल होने वाले ईवीएम का आईडी नंबर भी होता है। उस पोलिंग स्टेशन के लिए कुल योग्य वोटरों की संख्या भी होती है। कितने लोगों को वोट नहीं करने दिया गया वो भी होता है। प्रति वोटिंग मशीन में दर्ज वोट जैसी ये जो तमाम जानकारियां होती हैं वो सब कुछ इस फॉर्म में होता है। अब इसी फॉर्म 17C को दोस्तों अपलोड करने की लगातार मांग हो रही है, जिससे चुनाव आयोग इनकार कर रहा है। चुनाव आयोग के इस तर्क को कपिल सिब्बल ने शॉकिंग बताया। उनका कहना है कि वो एकदम शॉक्ड है कि कैसे इस तरीके की बात चुनाव आयोग कर सकता है। उन्होंने कहा है कि इससे पता चलता है कि दाल में पक्का कुछ ना कुछ तो काला है ही। इसकी वजह से राजनीतिक दलों का जो शक है वो और गहरा हो सकता है। दोस्तों, कपिल सिब्बल ने अपनी बात कहते हुए कहा, अगर गिने गए वोट अपलोड किए जाते हैं तो डाले गए वोट क्यों नहीं? ऐसे आयोग पर हम कैसे भरोसा करें? अब हमें भगवान के पास ही जाना पड़ेगा। मोदी ही भगवान है, हजारों साल बाद भगवान आए हैं। सभी पार्टियों को उस भगवान यानी कि मोदी के पास जाकर कहना चाहिए कि 80 करोड़ लोग गरीबी में हैं, उनका उद्धार कीजिए, उनके खाते में 15 लाख डालिए। भगवान ने सब कुछ त्याग दिया है। दोस्तों, न सिर्फ कपिल सिब्बल बल्कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी फॉर्म 17C को लेकर चुनाव आयोग की क्लास लगा चुका है पहले भी। दोस्तों, ADR नाम की एक जो संस्था है, नॉन पॉलिटिकल संस्था, इसकी याचिका पर सुनवाई करते हुए चुनाव आयोग से फॉर्म 17C के डेटा का खुलासा करने के लिए कहा गया था सुप्रीम कोर्ट में। मामले में मुख्य न्यायाधीश यानी कि DY चंद्रचूड़, न्यायमूर्ति JB पार्दीवाला और न्यायमूर्ति मनोज मिश्रा की अध्यक्षता वाली पीठ ने चुनाव आयोग का प्रतिनिधित्व करने वाले वकील अमित शर्मा से यह सवाल किया गया था कि फॉर्म 17C डेटा का खुलासा नहीं करने में आखिर आपत्ति क्या है। कोर्ट ने कहा था कि चुनाव निकाय का जो डेटा होता है उसका खुलासा करना चाहिए। मामले में ईसीआई के वकील शर्मा का जवाब आया था कि इसमें कोई कठिनाई नहीं है, लेकिन पूरी प्रक्रिया जिसमें फॉर्म 17C भी शामिल होता है उसमें काफी समय लग जाता है, काफी टाइम लगता है, ये लंबी प्रोसेस है, इसीलिए इतनी जल्दी इसे नहीं किया जा सकता। लेकिन चुनाव आयोग तब भी फॉर्म 17C पब्लिक करने के लिए तैयार ही नहीं है, यानी कि 4 तारीख को चुनाव के रिजल्ट जो है वो आ जाएंगे, लेकिन उतना लंबा समय भी चुनाव आयोग के लिए काफी नहीं है। इतने लंबे समय में भी चुनाव आयोग डेटा पब्लिक करने को तैयार ही नहीं है। इलेक्शन कमीशन का हर खेल धीरे धीरे उजागर हो रहा है। चुनाव आयोग फॉर्म 17 देने की हेराफेरी लगातार क्यों कर रहा है? फॉर्म 17C को वेबसाइट पर अपलोड करने में चुनाव आयोग लगातार इनकार क्यों कर रहा है? ऐसे तमाम सवाल अब उठने लगे हैं। अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन के अध्यक्ष कपिल सिब्बल ने चुनाव आयोग के ऊपर कई सवाल उठा दिए हैं। कहा है कि अब तो जरूर दाल में कुछ काला है। फॉर्म 17C का डेटा अपलोड करने में चुनाव आयोग गोलमोल बातें कर रहा है। फॉर्म 17C का डेटा अपलोड अब तक क्यों नहीं हुआ है? 5 चरणों के चुनाव हो चुके हैं, 1,07,00,000 वोट ईवीएम में कैसे बढ़ गए? हर चुनाव क्षेत्र में 25।
Yeah. So in regional language, Hindi also I was trying to get you. I hope it is clear now what I have been trying to say. चुनाव में वोटों की चोरी, 4 चरण का मतदान 300 सीटों पर हुआ. EC's updated turnout for 4 phase of votes by 1.07 crores. That is why हर लोकसभा सीट पर 28,000 वोट बढ़ाए गए. 1 करोड़ से अधिक वोट किसने डाले? मामला सुप्रीम कोर्ट पहुंचा. So I'm just trying to give you, we are not here to judge anyone. I'm trying to just show you because of lack of time. And he has no right to know who he voted for. Likewise, electoral bonds, people have no right, constitution, no right to know who is funding which political party. Now similarly, the voter has no right to know who he voted for. It's shaming and gaming India election system. So this is for today. We leave it to the kind judgment of or understanding of the citizens, voters, and people of India, because we are all together Constitution of India, Election Commission of India, or the State Election Commission. They are all duty bound as they are under Article 324 of Constitution appointing Election Commission of India. When such is the case, every citizen is a constitution by himself or herself or other selves, as they have dedicated constitution to themselves. So when we are a constitution, we are a boss. How is that a public servant, a servant is trying to deny the information to the boss, for which boss is trying to know as to what way and where we have gone wrong in the conduction of elections, whether it is free and fair or not. What are the number of votes polled? When the boss is demanding, citizen is demanding, the voter is demanding, a servant, public servant like Chief Election Commissioner or election commissioners, how are they denying? Don't I have a right to know whether my vote is legal or not? How safe and how, what should I say? I don't know. The constitution, because the way they are trying to confuse Mr. Kapil Sibal and so many people have been trying to put it across to in a common way. आपका वोट आप डालने के बाद क्या ये जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको जानकारी होनी चाहिए वह पोलिंग बूथ में कितने वोट्स डाले गए और वो संख्या क्यों बाहर नहीं आती? और ये संख्या का मूल प्रूफ भी 17A रजिस्टर. तो 17A 17C जो है అహం है. कैसे అహం है मैं ऑलरेडी बता चुका हूं. ఎందుకు ఇవి ఈ ఎన్నికలకు మూలం ముఖ్యము మీకు అన్ని ఆధారాలతో మేము ముందుంచాను. అందుగురించే మీరందరూ కూడా మీరు రాయడం మొదలు పెట్టండి. సుప్రీం కోర్టు కాకుండా ఫస్ట్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా, వైస్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా, సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ ఆల్ చీఫ్ జస్టిసెస్ ఇంక్లూడింగ్ ఎలక్షన్ కమిషన్ ఆఫ్ చీఫ్ కమిషనర్ నుంచి తెలంగాణ చీఫ్ ఎలక్టరల్ ఆఫీసర్ ఆర్ చీఫ్ ఎలక్టరల్ ఆఫీసర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ది స్టేట్స్ రాయండి. మాకెందుకు అధికారం లేదు? మేము రాజ్యాంగమా కాదా? क्या हम संविधान है या नहीं? हमको क्यों अधिकार नहीं है जानने की, जानकार होने की? Why we don't have right to know when we are the constitutional itself? Such important information which will define the democracy of this great country. And that to people participatory constitutional democracy and the basic structure of the constitution. How is that an elected body under such provisions of basic structure of constitution trying to deny such vital information related to elections? And if they are denying whether this is a free and fair election, it is all up to you. We are not here to judge. I only hope Supreme Court will sooner than later take the call, as they have done in electoral bonds. In the same spirit, when the public citizens' constitution voters are denied, who is funding? How is that the same Election Commission of India is trying to again deny more vital than electoral bonds information about the votes, information on the votes, basing on the votes itself, the representatives are elected to either Lok Sabha or Assembly. I hope this is more fundamental and vital than what Supreme Court judgment on electoral bonds was. I hope everyone will agree with me. Do participate in on DRTSPR channel shows. My mobile number is 9440465339. You can WhatsApp all information what you have. We can directly participate from wherever you are. I will connect. And to the same number 9440465339, Google Pay as well as Phone Pay are attached, because I don't meet and I don't take anything in person. If you want to support, you can do that. Do support DRTSPR channels, Citizens DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels. They are all in larger public interest only. I only I'm hopeful that Election Commission of India will understand, and it will not force Supreme Court of India to go for another trial like electoral bonds. In that way, if that is the case, it is people participatory constitutional democracy which will be a big victim. And in doing so, every aspect of any constitutional body will come under the scrutiny of the citizens of this India, and that will not augur well for the transparency and accountability in administration at all. Leave out the freedom in this country. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.